He's never.
All right, meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. Hey, so what's up, guys, man? Good afternoon, Wrestling Room, Florida Wrestling Room, Ward Wrestling Live, the Wrestling Nation, everybody who listens. Appreciate your support. Follow and like the page, Ward Wrestling Live, subscribe on YouTube, and all that good stuff. So I'm here. My 11-year-old, by the way, told me that I need to do that at the beginning because that's what YouTubers do. They say,
yeah, they do.
So
they do.
I'm learning from an 11-year-old. Thank you to him. Shout out Zachary. But I'm here with Brandon Neifeld, and hope I probably fucked that up, and JD Ramsey, coaches at Mater Lakes High School in Hialeah. They actually started the program back in 2013. They've created 2 state champs, 3 finalists, 10 placers, and 6 All-Americans already since 2003. So they're kicking ass over there. You've got Brandon, who was a 2-time placer at Cooper City, a 4-year starter at D2 at West Liberty. And you got JD Ramsey, 3-time placer in West Virginia. He was the high school wins record holder, but I think that got surpassed this year, he said. And he qualified 3 times at West Liberty to the D2 qualifying tournament. And they're here with us today to talk about Mater Lakes wrestling, Hialeah, Florida, whatever they want to talk about. Hey guys, man, thank you for coming on. I think I had you guys when Balone was on, when we did the women's thing. So shout out to them. And tell us first, what's up? How's this quarantine affected you? How are you guys coming out the other end? How are things going?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you gotta take the lead on that one.
Well, I mean, obviously the quarantine has been super rough on everybody. Just even the fact that even if they gave us the okay to practice, we would still be, scared to even go in there with 20, 30 kids.
Sure.
The good thing is a lot of our guys on our team are practicing in their backyards and making their own things happen. So that's one thing I can say about our guys, that they're finding ways without us even to get on the mats. So that's definitely been a big help in that aspect.
Yeah,
he's been working out with lifting, at least with some of the kids too. So that's helped.
They've been doing some virtual stuff. I know I see all these guys like Connor Beebe and all them doing some stuff online for the kids to chime into.
Yep. You just need a mat. That's what you need at your house. If you don't have that, I mean, I guess you can go on the carpet or whatever, but not everybody has a mat, so that makes it tough.
Yeah, but I think a lot of our kids are itching to get back on the mat now, so even the kids that have been training or haven't been training even are both, excited to get back onto those mats. So I think the quarantine might end up being better for us in the long run, just because the kids are going to kind of come back with maybe a little bit more respect for what they had, for the opportunity to wrestle, and just excited out there in general.
And some strength, right?
Yeah, you'd hope so.
Because I know that my kids, I mean, they'll roll around, they're 14 and 11, and they'll roll around on the mat a little bit, but for the most part, they've been in there kind of running and doing weights and doing whatever. I know the 14-year-old drives the little one crazy, makes him get down and do push-ups and all sorts of stuff as well. I'm sending you guys out to all these wrestling rooms so people can see you guys, get to know you guys, see who you are. You guys have girls and boys there, right? You guys have a girls team and a boys team. I know you guys had a really successful girls season as well as a boys this year, didn't you?
Yeah, we had our first. I guess this was the first actual year we had girls, and we were lucky enough to have a state champ in our first year, which was Carolina, and the fact that she came out and was so successful, we had 6, 7 other girls come out, and we actually even have more coming in next year through her that are jiu-jitsu and judo girls, and they're already going to be studs on the mat for us in the next couple of years. So that the girls team is building up tremendously.
Wow, that's awesome. And talk about this year. I know that, well, first of all, well, maybe I had these questions backwards, but what did it mean to, I'll ask you question number 2 as question number 1, since we're already talking about that. What did it mean to you guys? What did it mean to you guys to qualify 5 this year? I know that's the best you've done so far since you started. So obviously you're getting better, you're growing. And how did it feel to get to that number? And does it give you a feeling of, okay, we're being successful, we're moving forward?
What do you think, Jay? Well, last year, for states, last year we had 9 qualify with 5 regional champs. That was our huge year.
That was the big run.
Yeah.
But this year it was nice to we only took 3, but all 3 of them made a lot of noise. You know, all 3 of them came back with hardware. So that's always a great feeling to take your top guys and to know that they're the top guys in the state, not just the big fish in a small pond.
Yeah, I was reading an article that just said that down there in South Florida, where it said, man, Major Legs is growing, took 5, best year so far. So that's where I got that information from. So
you're good.
Was that last year or this year?
That was 2 years ago, I think, when we took 5, when we had 5.
Oh, nice. So this year, how many did you take?
This year we took 3, and we actually had a couple 7th graders lose in the blood round. They were tough losses, but I think me and JD both think that it would actually make them, tougher throughout the next few years.
And we had another senior at 170 who had a knee injury that ended his season. We think that he probably could have went to states and made a little bit of noise as well.
Nice, but promising that you got those young ones, right?
Yeah, we definitely think we've got some big things on the horizon, man. We think we're just getting the ball rolling here. Man,
good for you guys. So talk about that. What was it like to start a program here down there in South Florida and get it off the ground and kind of build the culture that you're trying to build?
That's all you.
Yeah, I mean, well, when I first got there, I got a teaching job, and they asked me if I wanted to do wrestling, and I just jumped in and said, yeah, sure, I can do that, no problem. But man, it was a lot, especially the first 2 years or so. We just got our ass kicked, man, and every match was like pin, and I would just be sitting in the corner like, damn, man, like this sucks, But I had fun though. It wasn't about winning the first couple of years. I just enjoyed it, and then I mean, just being in Miami, man, that everybody's so competitive, and starting a program from scratch, and then you got to wrestle like South Dade or somebody like you have no chance. It's like it's almost like you can never win that battle. But
I know what you mean. My son didn't get his first win until the beginning of this year, so I definitely had seen. I've seen the lows and I've seen the highs.
Yeah, just thinking about starting a team now is like, man, it's almost impossible. But thankfully, I started having a little bit more success. Got our state placer, got some state qualifiers, and then when JD came on board, it was just something that I needed so bad, somebody else, and the program just blew up even more when he came.
I kind of just came in at the right time. Brandon had like a group of just stud juniors and a really good senior leader and one of his, original top guys in Cole Schwartzberg. But we had a slew of stud juniors. I think that junior class that I'm talking about, there's 4 college wrestlers actually going out of that class now because Nick Luna is now joining the ranks at STU. But, I just came in and Brandon had these guys just chomping at the bit. And I just think that I was kind of a shot in the arm for those guys. You know how it is. They've had the same coach, Brandon, and some of the other guys were around like Alex Noah and Daniel Colatorti, at the time, when a new voice steps in, the kids just kind of, their ears perk up,
Yeah.
and you kind of grab their attention a little bit
Well, it
different.
can also, yeah, it can also free up one of you to kind of build the program too. I mean, if you're totally focused and you can only be in the room with the kids, you don't have time to be calling tournaments or setting up matches or
Yeah,
doing rules
exactly.
or maybe
Exactly.
standing in the hallway trying to recruit kids, right? So it
He does all of that stuff. I don't even want to take
That was one of the big things, man. It's just taking the big load off of myself and giving a lot of it to him, and then it just opened up so many more opportunities for both of us, you know.
That's great. Now you guys are a contender and bringing kids to states and doing your thing, right? I mean, talk about what the growth and starting to grow that girl side has done for your wrestling program as well, and what it'll mean to get that sanctioned.
That was one of the things, you know, that we kept kind of preaching to the girls, because we're definitely trying to grow that program, you know, as much as we can. And obviously having success with Carolina this year was great for us. But, you know, I think getting it sanctioned, you know, letting the girls know that, hey, this is something that's legitimate. You know, there's a Florida State Championship, and you're seeing a girl that's in your hallway every day that has already came back with that piece of hardware, that's already done it. That just opens up more doors, I think, for these young ladies, because they kind of see other people doing it around them. You know, so often younger people are looking for acceptance. And I think seeing a girl like that and seeing other girls joining the program, you know, the more the merrier. You get, you know, one and you get three more after her.
Yeah. What's amazing is you talk to these girls and they want more girls. Like you don't hear that feeling like, oh, well, if more come, then I may not be as good, or I may not advance, or I may not have a chance to win. Like these girls want more girls. They want more competition. They want the sport to grow. They want the colleges to make offers. And you hear that in them. And I think you guys saw I had a couple of girl coaches on here last week. I had one from Lourdes who's starting the girls program there. And then I had one from South Florida. Well, she's up in GV. What's that? Grandview?
Grandview, yeah.
I'm going to mess up her name. Avales,
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And she said, man, she said, it used to be terrible. You'd walk into a room and nobody would want to wrestle with you. You'd go to tournaments and people were like talking shit and didn't want to wrestle you. And, you know,
it's always been like that for girls.
It was just terrible. And she said, now to be able to walk into rooms and you're just another wrestler. Now to be able to take girls to tournaments and you're just another wrestler. She spoke about that and it meant a lot. I think Coach Morgan, when I had him on, spoke about it too. He said that, you know, it's great. We bring girls to tournaments now and they're welcome with open arms. You don't have the bullshit you used to have. So it's starting to progress, and I'm sure it gives the girls confidence. I'm not around them, but you guys are, so you could talk more on that, right?
Yeah, definitely an empowering experience for them. The best example I could give is I attended the girls' state tournament this year, and it was a great event. They're going to need to put that thing in an arena though, because they had a ton of fans and totally different environment. You know, before the tournament, the girls are all braiding their hair, and then they have like they were doing the Cupid shuffle and stuff because the track wrestling was kind of messing up there, so they had a little delay. So instead of just sitting around and kind of sticking to themselves, you know, these girls go out and everyone's involved. I mean, it's a huge, it's even more tight knit maybe than the boys community, and that's saying something.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, look, we get an okay crowd at the boys' states, but could you imagine what the crowd would be if half the match had girls on it?
Oh, that's what I was talking about to somebody at the state tournament. It would drastically improve the event.
I'd like, you know, there'd be some of those. Hopefully, we don't get some of those stand fights where mama's beating up on someone's daddy.
From West Virginia, I've seen a few of those in the tournament.
Yeah, man, that'll be great. I hope it happens, man. I had. You know, I had a girl on, you probably saw her. She was the first 4-time state girls champ. back like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah, I saw you interviewed her. Yeah, I forgot her name though, but I saw
She
you.
said that when she went to states, there was 60 or 70 girls there, and now there's over 360 or something.
It's legitimate now.
Yeah, I want to say they may have pushed over 400 this year. I'm not sure what the number was either. 360 sounds right.
I had Coach Ayers on, the head coach for Princeton. He has a 9th grader who's his daughter, who won states this year. It was the first sanctioned girls state in New Jersey.
Wow.
And she's a stud worldwide. But he said Atlantic City was 769 girls.
Wow, that's awesome.
Jeez.
So
That's
you talk about a tournament. He's like, that's like boys.
Yeah, that's huge.
So
maybe some 64 girl brackets there somewhere.
that's great. But how cool would it be for you guys to be able to take boys and girls, and you guys it'll be fun.
I would love that.
Talk about the growth of youth wrestling in not just South Florida, but in all of Florida. What it means to make sure that that all these youth, all these coaches create more youth programs, kind of like football has Pop Warner and baseball has Little League and all these programs to be able to funnel into these schools and grow and have the depth that Florida needs.
Well, I think that's one of the things we're trying to really focus on more than anything is the middle school and youth wrestling. Anybody who knows anything about wrestling knows that that's the most important part for high school and college success is starting at least in middle school years. That's probably our best class of kids right now is 9th grade and below. Those are our best wrestlers right now. So that's why we're so excited about the future of that. By the time they're in 10th, 11th, 12th grade, they're going to be mega stud wrestlers. But in general, the state, I mean, the middle school wrestling just isn't really there, man. And it's one thing for us, we have it because we're a 6 through 12, and man, we're lucky, and we know we're lucky. Like we're really trying to hammer that out, but it does suck as a state that they're just so limited with the middle school wrestling.
Being from up north, where you're talking about a middle school state tournament being, 128 man bracket. It's a whole lot different coming down here. And, you're struggling to wrestle 10 different guys in a season for some of these middle school guys. But I think as you see the clubs growing, and especially, guys that are having success on the national level, even going back as early as like Earl Hall and guys of that time. And then, Bretley Rain obviously going to Iowa and Lugo and all these guys that are making noise at the D1 level from Florida. I think that's something that college coaches are looking at. And they're like, wow, maybe we need to start taking a look down south a little bit. And I can tell you from, again, from being a Northern guy, people always kind of look down on Florida wrestling. And then when I first got down here, I was like, man, this is, it's no joke. It's a physical, super athletic brand of wrestling, very, very hard nosed. And I think the rest of the nation is kind of just now going to start waking up to Florida in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, Connor Beebe said the same thing. He said, I moved down to Florida and I was done with wrestling. I was like, I don't want it. And then he said, I got down here from Illinois and I realized, damn, they can wrestle down here. And like talking to Kevin Nordstrom, excuse me, who was 5-time state champion, his brother 2 of 5. So they were pretty good. And he said the problem is that we couldn't get people to come to Florida because they didn't want to be that team that said we got our ass kicked by Florida kids because it is looked down upon. So if they came down here and we whooped their ass, they didn't want to go back and say that. So that's also been an issue to get because you're not getting. Now you're getting, like we heard Blair's coming down and we know Lake Highland Prep is pulling a lot of these prep schools into our state for a lot of these tournaments and you're getting the top competition, but that middle tier Pennsylvania or New Jersey team never wanted to come down, he said, because we could beat those guys. We could compete with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. You see it at the Disney duels all the time, local Florida clubs go and they wrestle like an all-star club from an Ohio or a PA and put it on them.
Yeah, man, it's been you guys have been watching my show. I mean, when I started this, my first interview was NATO, and I was just like, "Hey, what's up? How you
I
doing?"
saw that. Yeah.
I was like, "What are you doing during the off season? How you doing?" Like I didn't know the first thing. Like now, I actually have like legit questions and concerns because each show has made me see what the community is looking for, or wants to talk about, or wants to hear to make wrestling better, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't care about like the frivolous stuff, like fighting about bullshit. Like I don't want that. I just want grow wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do. And asking all these questions, I've learned so much about the growth of girls, what to expect, what states are top or bottom. Like I'm kind of going through that. So it's been pretty cool experiencing this. So it's been fun and having you guys on, man. This is great. So you guys ready for the 10 questions?
Oh yeah.
Shoot.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So I started last week trying to kind of gear these towards the people in the area who I'm talking to, because I kind of was doing the same 10 questions all the time and it kind of got monotonous. So I'm trying to change it up a bit. So being you guys are down in South Florida, you guys prefer a Cuban sandwich or a medianoche?
Oh, I would prefer medianoche, man.
Me too. Yeah.
The bread, it's got the salt.
Like that sweet bread, right?
Yeah, the sweet bread.
All right, I know what I like here, but you guys go cortadito or colada?
Cortadito.
Colada. I go cortadito. I like that Cuban crack.
Yeah, stronger.
All right, I hope I don't mess these names up. Grazianos or Rinconcito?
I haven't tried either of those.
I don't know what those are.
Okay, good. So none. All right.
We're at our school. We're one of the very few non-Cuban descendants at our school where we work.
I know one's an Argentinian restaurant and one's a Peruvian restaurant.
I know I've seen one on Uber Eats. So now for the next time I'm on, I'll let you know.
Yeah, Argentina and Peru, it says here. But it said they're really good restaurants in Hialeah, so I figured I'd ask.
Have to go there.
Okay, I don't know. Try this. Let's try this one. Steak or ribs? I'll change it up.
Ribs. Ribs
for me all day.
Flanagan's.
Down there, they put. I remember growing up. They put the pig in the ground and cover it with the leaf for the holidays and smoke the pig. That was fun.
Noche buena.
Yeah. Noche buena. I do that up here with my father-in-law. All right, Miami Beach or Lauderdale Beach?
Oh, Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale.
For us, that's Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
All right, the Miami Zoo or Jungle Island?
Probably Jungle Island. I've never been to Miami.
See, when I wrote this down, and I might be dating myself. I wrote down Metro Zoo and Parrot Jungle, and then when I looked, those are not their names anymore.
Parrot Jungle, that's not there anymore. It's there.
No, it's called Jungle Island.
Oh, I didn't even know.
And then Metro Zoo is called Miami Zoo, but when I grew up, it was Metro Zoo. They used to do a big, I don't know if they still do it. They used to do a haunted walk every year for Halloween. And
I think they still do that at the zoo.
I was a little guy, and my dad handed me up to the one boogeyman, and I was like, ah! I remember that. High school scoring or NCAA scoring?
I personally like the new back points, and I kind of like the danger rule. I don't know, because I love the scrambling that you see in high school because of the danger. That's a tough question.
Yeah, I think they go good with where they're at. The high level wrestling, I don't know if those high school kids would even begin to learn half of that.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. It would be hard to explain to some of these kids. We get a first or second year kid, and he might even be able to make the state tournament, but to try to teach him what a danger rule point was,
yeah,
that might be a little over his head for a first or second year guy.
Too overwhelming.
Calle Ocho or the Dade County Youth Fair?
Calle Ocho. The block party, man. More partyish, I think. I would say so.
I've never been to one. I've never been to either of those. I'm new. I'm new here. I'm the one that hasn't. He was down here his whole life.
Oh, okay. Ocean or pool?
Ocean.
Yeah, ocean. The beach, restaurants, and bars. All
Well, I came
together,
before.
same spot.
Lives or clinics?
I would probably prefer a live. I have more fun at a live.
Yeah, same. And you can still teach throughout it, you know? You learn a
Yeah.
lot. So,
Let's see here. I think I've got, let's see. JD is also a great official. Hopefully he comes back to doing it. Need good young officials in our state, Coach Dominguez.
he is. He's one of the best.
I don't know about all that.
Brian Van Vack, 10 years ago, Florida was meh. It has really boomed the last 5 years. We used to take Team Florida All-Stars and get humbled up north. Now we can compete. Brian Van Vector. Oscar
true.
Martinez, great guys. Alan Held, great young coaches.
Coach Held.
Doing it the right way. So some really good shout outs here for you guys. And that's
Yeah,
awesome.
we got some friendly rivalries with a lot of those guys, man. It's fun to wrestle them. But like you said, the big picture is just to grow Florida wrestling, which is obviously the main goal for all of us.
Yeah, you know, we go to Virginia Beach Nationals, for instance, and you know, all the Florida guys are watching the other Florida guys.
Yeah,
You know,
we're rooting hard for our Florida guys, man. It's awesome. But I do like the little competitive duels down here too, you know, where it gets a little chippy and then you shake hands after and then I don't know. That's fun.
we see each other next weekend, and it's all good.
Next week.
I can't believe how many, I'm a fan of so many wrestlers now that I've been doing this, because before I'd only root for the kids at CFWA that my kids meet throughout the club. And then, you know, of course, Lake Highland Prep, that's their club. So we know all those kids, but you meet kids from all over, from Tampa to Jacksonville, that come into that club during the summers and spring.
Yeah.
So those are like the groups I used to root for, whoever my kid talked to. Now I'm meeting kids and coaches here, so it makes me want to go and root for them when they're on the mat. So I'm a fan now, guys. I'll be watching you guys too.
Welcome aboard.
A lot of people still won't know us, but in a few years they won't have a choice probably.
Yeah,
I like being under the radar too.
I can't wait to get wrestling back out, so I can go out and actually like shake hands with you guys and say thank you for the support and kind of meet everybody. I'll have to put like a glove on now, right, before I shake your hand. Or
Stumps only.
put a garbage bag on before I give you a hug. I gotta do it like that now. Well, that's cool, man. Hey, thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate you. Is there anything that you guys wanted to talk about that maybe I missed or didn't touch on? Was there anything about your program, about Florida wrestling, about wrestling in general that maybe I might have forgot to ask you guys?
I mean, a big thing that just happened recently was Lake Highland moving up to the prep division. That was one thing, because we're a 1A school, so that was one thing that I mean, it's great for Florida, but you know, it takes away from a lot of the depth in 1A now. So the doors are open. You know, teams like Somerset, Cardinal Gibbons, Heritage Delray. But I think in a few years, you know, once we have some of our middle schoolers coming up, that's definitely one of our goals, is to take that spot, you know, in 1A. Just a matter of time, staying focused and keep practicing, you know.
Yeah, I think Coach Blasucci's going to have something to tell you guys about that. He's gonna be holding on to that. He's going to be holding on to that spot there, like
next year he I think he's got the best chance next year. So.
He's going to be kicking you guys down the flagpole. He'll be trying to keep you guys away.
We've got a great chance next year for sure.
He's our district, man. We see him every year in our district. I love Blasucci though. He's awesome.
That's awesome. Alex Noah, my guys, best young coaches in the state. Annalyn Zerbanati. Damn, you guys can't have names I can pronounce. Come on, help me out here.
We still can't even pronounce half of our kids' names.
Yeah, best coaches in the world.
Nice.
So you guys are getting some good shout outs, man. That's good. That makes you see you're doing it the right way, you know?
We give a little shout out to West Liberty too, man, our college where we went to. obviously we were college teammates that brought us together, but people like Coach Turner, from HML, he was a West Liberty graduate. Mark or Brandon Hinkle, UFC, all these guys. There's a lot of history there from our school, man. So and they're
send the coach my link. Let's shout him out. Let's get him on here.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I'm down, man. You know me. Anything.
They've got an up and coming team too, kind of rising from the ashes there.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm down. Let's get them on. And any high school coaches out there, any college coaches that want to be on, just shout me out, man. We'll get on. I know after today, I think I've had like 31 or something of the high schools on in the state of Florida. I've had this right here, I think, is my 81st interview of wrestling since I started April 6th. So by the end of this week, we should be at 100 interviews, which is great. I'd love to get some more Florida high school coaches on here. So if you haven't been on yet, man, hit me up. Let's do it. If anybody out there knows them, send them my link.
A lot of jiu-jitsu guys coming over to the wrestling world too, man. That's where we get a lot of our guys come and train with us, and they love wrestling. I know some guys like Wagner Rocha. He's one of the best in the world. His wrestling to him is everything now. They love it, So
yeah, man, send him. I have some MMA guys coming on. I've got John Fitch.
Nice.
Coming on. Yeah. I've got Maynard coming on.
Stud, yep.
I've got. I don't know. I got to go through the list. I got people coming on. So
big things are coming up.
Yeah, man, we got some good stuff happening. We got Ken Shurto with the Shurto camps coming on later on.
That's your home.
Yeah, he's actually from my area, West Virginia, at Huntington.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. So we got a lot of good ones. We got Brent George of Lake Gibson coming on, which finally I'll get a Lake Gibson guy on here so I can cross that list off because Danny Walker won't come on. I just keep saying that. Maybe one day he'll come on.
Yeah, those guys are doing great, man. They're awesome. They got
yeah, and then I've got the Maryland assistant coach coming on, Nick Bruschetta, later on this evening. So,
jeez.
Yeah, I mean, he was a 3-time ACC champ, 3rd place at the NCAA's, 2-time Ohio State champ at St. Paris Graham, and he wrestled for Jeff Jordan.
Wow.
Jeff Jordan. I went to Jeff Jordan camps.
Yeah, I was hoping to send my kid to one, but there's no camps right now. So
it's a shame.
Shut down.
When they open back up, you definitely got to get him up there.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but amazing things. I had Coach Mike Schick on with Lemon Bay, and he said that the best thing and the hardest thing he's ever done is the Jeff Jordan camp.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd probably have to agree with him.
Yeah, and then he went back when his son Lance was going through it. He didn't do the whole thing, but he did a couple days at an older age with his son, and he was like, damn. He was working hard, but
the most brutal part of that was in the old days, you would have to, you'd still have to sleep on the mats, I believe. But sleeping on the mats, as my first time, the second and third times, 4th times I went out there, I definitely brought the air mattress.
Yeah. What did he say? He just went, like a few years ago, he decided to run it back a little bit and went and won 2 golds at the Veterans Masters World or something.
World champ there, Veterans World champ.
Yeah.
No surprise there.
He still got it.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah, seems like a really super guy. I can't believe the people I met, Mike DeAugustino, Steve Mocco, you guys. I mean, I'm meeting so many. I can't wait to.
Yeah, Mocco's another one. We go there as much as we can and train up there at ATT with him, man.
You guys got a lot of good stuff down there in South Florida.
South Florida is definitely lucky to have him right here.
Yeah, we utilize it as much as we can.
Yeah, he seems pretty chill too, but I know you probably don't want to get him lit up.
He's super chill. He's really
he's like Danny Mars chill, right? Like, yeah, but then you ask him a question, he's like,
yeah.
I was like, how do you feel when you went on the mat? He goes, look, man, when I'm on the mat, I just want to kill you. I just want to kick your ass.
He's one of those people that just got the switch.
Yeah, He's like, I'm bad, and if you don't want to be on the mat with me, you better not. Like, just forfeit. Like, I'm gonna kill you, trying to hurt you, like that. He's like trying to hurt you. Like, he's like, so I took it as like respect when they would say, no, I don't want to fight him. Just throw in the towel. Yeah, it's some crazy shit. The confidence level has got to be enormous.
Yeah.
Hey guys, man.
That's important for any high level guy.
Yeah, man. Let's do this anytime, man. I could sit here and talk with you forever.
Sure, man.
Yeah, man, I love
See you
it.
soon.
Mater Lakes, man. Hey, Mater Lakes Wrestling. Go for it, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys. I mean, I was born in the 305 and I was raised there till I think I moved up here at like 20 or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's in your blood, man. You got it in you still.
Yeah, I tell my wife, man, I was born and raised in the county of Dade. She goes, yeah, but you've been in Orlando longer than you live down there.
You don't forget your roots.
Yeah. That's all right. I know how to say what up, dog. All right, y'all. Take it easy.
Have a good one, Dan.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.